Are we live? All right, welcome everybody back to the Restaurants Canada show, Heart and Hustle 2023. So excited to have Scott joining me. Somebody I've had a chance to meet during the pandemic virtually. It's great to finally meet in person. And what I've always appreciated about you, Scott, is just your energy that you bring to any conversation and your care and your passion for our industry. So one thing I'd love to kick off, just to share with the audience, what you love so much about the hospitality industry, what's had you invest your entire career in supporting our industry?
That's great. And great to meet you, Jay, and Matt, in person. Great to finally shake hands instead of looking at a screen.
Yeah.
As far as the business and my passion goes, I'm going to date myself, but we're probably going back to like 1978, 79 when the original Kelsey's opened.
Yep.
I lived in Oakville. Paul Jeffrey, the founder and owner of the company at the time, I walked in. He shook my hand and said, "Can I buy you a beer?" And as they say, the rest is history.
Awesome.
I met him. He had so much passion, so much energy, so much heart that I grabbed onto that. Ended up bartending at the original Kelsey's for 2-3 years while I was going through college and started in the design business. And it just wrapped onto me. And I just love the energy of the industry, the passion, the people, and the persistence. And it's just a great environment to have lots of energy.
Awesome. I love that, and I think that's what's kept so many of us here is our passion and our interest for what we do. But tell us a little bit about you and the work that you do with Support It before we get into some questions we set up for this interview.
Are you asking specifically about Stir?
Yeah.
Okay, so Stir is the impetus of when I was the director of marketing at Kelsey. I found that many suppliers didn't really understand the business. Trying to promote their products within the four walls. I also felt there was a need for an agency that had food service capabilities. Again, marketing, this wasn't really anybody who had the expertise and skills. So in 2009, I opened up the store Stir to leverage my 30, 40 plus years of knowledge and understanding, not only from a marketing perspective, but it's more about I understand operations, I understand purchasing. When I work for a small company like Kelsey, we're involved in many meeting operations, purchasing, so we understand the whole spectrum. So what I bring to the table is to the table, we understanding of the industry, which lends our expertise skill set to suppliers, help them build efficient and effective programs for keeping change.
Yep.
And as well, working with restaurant chains too, helping them assess their menus, their operations, whatever their case may be. So big picture Stir is food-focused marketing company.
Yep.
And we do everything from websites, menu design, to you name it. We give everything in all.
Love it. And I think the reason why we're designing these conversations, why it's so great to have you on the show and even being at the Restaurants Canada shows, people are thinking differently about what do we need to do this year to be successful. So in the past, where sometimes we did things internally or we've done things a certain way, how do we stay curious a little bit longer to possibly open up to do things differently? So one thing I wanted to get into, we've mapped out some questions, is what trends have you noticed in the food service industry in the recent years, could be pre-pandemic or leading up to now, and how have you adapted your services and putting it through the operator lens? What are they going through and how are you doing different to support what they want to do?
Right. Well, first and foremost, the trends I see, especially because of COVID and the pandemic, is menu adjustments, menu engineering, distilling the menus down to who they truly are and what the people are doing, not only from a food cost and labor cost perspective, but really finiting and understanding who they are.
Yeah.
There's also the fact that there are many voices out there. The market is very busy.
Yeah.
So having the supplier, or should I say the operator, build that small message and know who they're talking to and what they're all about. And from a supplier side, I think it's more them becoming a partner. And what I mean by that is it's not just show up with the product and put it in the back door.
Yep.
It's more how can I help the operator, how can I help the independent change and really build their business, because if they grow the business, my business. So it's not just you're not just a product, you become a partner.
Absolutely.
So we help suppliers think that way, give them the understanding and the questions to ask, build programs that do work, and actually take time to do the due diligence.
Yep.
Talk to the operations, talk to the marketing teams before you even put anything on paper.
Yeah.
So that when the supplier does come back with a program, it's turnkey, it's relevant.
What's one of the best supplier programs or just the best stories you've seen of a supplier having a shift in how they saw what their partners want and needs, what the restaurant operator wanted and needed? Is there something that they've done differently or changed that just really landed that created that guest experience or guest connection?
That's a good question. My perspective, we work a lot with a variety of suppliers. One we worked with for many years with Mother Partners, tea and coffee for 10, 12 years. We were brought on, I wouldn't say we were the AOR, but we did a tremendous amount of work within their industry to help them, again, start instead of just putting in that publication advertising, typical sales. It's coming in and, again, building relevant programs for their key markets and key partners in the chains or businesses.
And then from an operator perspective, is there anything that you've been able to work with an operator just to be in a theme, and I might have said this already, but one of my themes for the year or phrases is how do we be curious a little bit longer? It's not my frame, it's my question is from an author, but is there any conversation you have where an operator is starting to see their guest engagement or their guest relationship differently and try to approach that ongoing relationship with their guests differently?
From an operator perspective, what I'm seeing, yes, guest engagement is critical.
Yeah.
But what I'm seeing now is them all having to step back and really take a look and find out who they understand who they are.
Yeah.
For example, working with a small independent, a couple of stores in the Burlington area, he's asked us to come on and see how we can help him and to manage stepping back and taking a look again at the full picture. What does the restaurant look like? What are your operations like? What are your servers like? What's your food program like?
Yeah.
And of course, that all comes into customer engagement, because at the end of the day, it's the customers that are most important.
Yeah.
And you've got to make them feel welcome and warm, and you got to have them coming back.
And that's the biggest trend that we've changed in all the clients that we're coaching currently. What we've seen from data, more from the U.S., is what the guests wanted coming out of the pandemic, which for us here in Canada was really only a year ago, just over a year ago, is they wanted to connect with their friends. But now as prices go up and we have a little bit less discretionary income, they really want that experience. So how do we create an experience that they enjoy and they love, and hopefully how do we get them inside our four walls more frequently? Thinking through the lens of creating something that they remember, creating something that they care about, creating something to return to.
I think pandemic, people got used to eating at home, right? And I think what we really have to do is try and drive people back to the stores, to the restaurants.
Yep.
Because there is an experience there. It's not just eating at home, great, the food is good. I call it entertainment.
Yep.
Entertainment is anything you walk into the restaurant, you feel the vibe, music's right, lighting's right, you're greeted by the host, server is excellent, food is amazing. It's just a great experience, and you realize the value for your dollar as a customer is there a lot more than just sitting at home and ordering something in. And I think that's really relevant today. Restaurants really have to start focusing on really serving that entertainment as they call it.
Yeah, I love it. My favorite book so far this year is Unreasonable Hospitality, which I know will be focused on here at the Restaurants Canada show, but just creating those experiences no matter the concept, whether you're a coffee shop or QSR or full service or fine dining or hotel. It's not only are the leaders focused on the guest experience, but do all the staff understand what execution of the guest experience, and are they recognized and rewarded for delivering it, not once, but consistently, relentlessly. So a couple other questions I'd love to go through here now, and I really love this one that Jay helped us shape. It's how do you work with food service businesses to help them stand out in such a crowded market? And you shared that in your opening. There's so much noise going on. What is the strategy that's most effective to help the operator, the restaurateur, do different, experience different, get the results they want and deserve?
Yeah, I think we touched on it a couple of times, but I think it's truly stepping back and understanding who they are, who their core audience is. And I would tell you that you get a menu for everybody and everything. I think today you've really got to be focused on who you are, what you are, and tell that story as much as you can.
And how does somebody tell the story? Like, is there an example of somebody really finding who they are and why their community needs to exist, or why the guest is there? Is there somebody you can think back to working with that just really found it? What's the impact when somebody gets clear on who they are?
Well, I think Chipotle is a great role model.
Sure.
They stay in their lane. They know who they are. It's fresh food. It's served a certain way. They don't follow the trends. They more or less stay in their lane and they truly understand who they are you understand who the customer is. So again, what we do working with restaurants is go in and spend some time with due diligence, understand who they truly are. What is their point of difference?
Yeah.
So you say there's so much choice, so many options on Main Street.
Yep.
Customers
Every Main Street, every city.
every Main Street, every corner is a restaurant. So why am I going to that restaurant?
Yep.
Well, you've got to tell them exactly why. And there's many ways to do that. Again, you mentioned staff. Staff training is most important and most effective. They've got to understand who we are, what are we all about, what do we do best. There's opportunities on the menu to tell a story. There's opportunities in the restaurant to tell a story. And then, of course, there's the website and all the social. Like everything should have that same message. Go through that same funnel. At the end of the day, it's all focused on who they are and what they do best.
Love it. And what do you see next for our industry? Like, what is, if we look at trends in the industry, this might be work that we do or just general work as we stay curious and looking out to what we see in the industry. But when it comes to trends forward for 2023, what do we see ahead of us, 2023 and beyond? And it might not be directly in how we serve the industry, but what are you most interested about? Is it AI? Is it ChatGPT? Is it POS technology? What might be something that you're most excited about for the future of our industry?
I think there are lots of new things coming in the industry, technology-wise. How that influences is TBD. I think the social marketing is really something that still needs to be refined and defined. Not only because now, in some cases, restaurants are letting their customers drive the voice. I think it's got to come back to the stores and the restaurant chains to talk more about who they are and what they are and control that.
Yep.
As far as what trends going, I still see, aside from technology, I still see restaurants finiting themselves. The demographics changing, the ethnic restaurants coming into town, very specific who they are. I think, it's the different tastes that are coming into the industry. I see that coming from all four corners of the world now, especially in Canada.
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge trend. All these different items of meals, service, and types of atmosphere. I see that as a true trend that will continue going forward. It's very strong.
Love it. And I think that's one thing that we're seeing still. I think the awareness of the impact of social for a restaurateur operation or face the business is so important, but we still don't see it as frequently as we'd expect. And it's still an opportunity. I don't know if actually on that space, but see what some great brands are doing on platforms like TikTok or focusing on YouTube. It's just how do you get the attention of your possible customer. But here's the one question that I want to make sure we get to. This will be the last one for our interview here today. But what are some of the biggest challenges facing the food service industry, in your opinion, and how are we working to help your clients overcome the challenges? So I think we talked a little bit about this, but if we could tie it down to maybe one major challenge that somebody in the pain, what's the pain that you think the operator's feeling right now? Because one thing we shared in the interview before is often the pain they're talking about is not the actual source. But what's the pain that we're hearing about and how do we adjust and fix it?
That's a great question. There are a lot of pain points, right? There's food costs, there's labor shortages, there's competition is even more fierce than ever before. So how do we pinpoint one of those? I think labor is probably one of the most critical.
Yeah.
And I know you speak to this a lot,
Yep.
and you're leading the forefront on that. But it's really getting the staff to become engaged, to really understand that they are a critical part of the business.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
They're not just order takers. They're on the front line. They're seeing your customers every day.
Yep.
So speak to them, reward them, acknowledge them, and let them feel that they're an important part of the business. They have weekly meetings and say, hey guys, what are you hearing? What do you see? What can we do better? What can we do different? Because again, they're at the front of the front line.
Yep.
So counting on your staff to feel more important, engage, and come back and really contribute to the growth of the store and sales.
Yeah, I love it. And that's the one thing that's been most impactful for me this year is how do we make people feel seen, valued, and heard? So that frontline staff, back house, part of house, and also your management team, how do we give them the attention that they want to need? And it's fluid. We can't do it once. We've got to continue to stay focused on it. And I think that's people first. How do we have the staff and leaders, managers to help create the experience that we want for our guests?
Yeah, because there's so many choices. The staff can walk down, as you mentioned, Main Street, walk into 5 different restaurants, and probably get hired on the spot.
Yep.
So why am I going to work with that one restaurant? Here's why.
Absolutely.
Here's what we do, right? There's opportunities for training, not only as a server, but perhaps how can you help them move forward with what they want to do. Maybe they want to get into management. how do you help them get through to management and then either a small chain or independent? Or how do you help them with their education? There's so many things that I think restaurants can do now to really help that individual and that team feel that they're really part and they want to see this person grow either within their own business, grow as a person and move forward with their ultimate career. So I think as a staff member, 18, 19, going to college, how can you help me with my education? Things that you can do there, small financial.
Yep.
And again, all these staff incentives and training things are critical going forward to maintain and grow the quality of our staff.
I love it. And the one thing we always say is recognition is free when we give it the right attention. We want it to be genuine, but just making sure that we share how we feel. Scott, I want to thank you so much. Who are you most excited to go and see at this year's Restaurants Canada show when you leave here? Wherever Mr. Jackson went, we'll wrap here in a second.
Well, as we talked before, there's many people that I've worked with here that I haven't seen in many years.
Yeah.
Right? So it's going to be nice just to shake their hands, get to see them again, get caught up with them, and see what they're up to and perhaps how we can help them.
Awesome. Thank you so much for an incredible conversation. How do people connect with you? Should they want to reach out and learn more about you and how you can support them?
Website stircommunications.ca.
Yep.
They can call me at 1-905-484-3094.
I love it. Human-human connection. We can talk all the ones proceedings, but sometimes it's better to get on the phone or get in person.
That's right.
Thanks, Scott. I hope you enjoyed the show.
That's fantastic. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Great. Cheers.
Yeah,